Yeah, so the thing that's popping out to me right now is I think the average person out there thinks that these safety trainers, safety riders, are just that. That they are just there to pop the button on the door
Yeah, no way.
if they need to stop the vehicle or to intervene in an accident or something like that, or something goes wrong with the passenger and they need some kind of help. What I'm hearing from you is this the safety rider, which I mentioned, I think the very first time I started talking about safety riders, it occurred to me that they probably after every ride, they're not taking notes and they don't have a tape recorder that they're speaking into while the ride's going on. But my guess was at that time that after every single ride, when they let the passenger off, that's when they record something. That's when they
Yeah.
write it down.
Yeah.
That by the end of the day, they've got a stack of stuff and they're now having a conversation with an engineer who is not only hearing the new stack of stuff, but also, as you said, retraining them, not only to not observe or not care about things that they don't need to care about, but also this is what we've observed. Here
Right.
are things we'd like you to observe now. So this
Yeah.
this person is actually an important link in the
Absolutely. Yeah.
discovery phase, as opposed to just being this idle individual who happens to be ready with a switch on the door to stop.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, there's this person, the observers, these folks are trained to some level before, right as they hit the go switch on this thing, they probably went through a month of kind of training and they realized this is what we want it to look like. And then after hitting the go switch, they realized, oh, okay, that's not the kind of feedback we want, or let's, as you said, let's give them an idea what to look for, things that they want. So it's a process. It's a process, and it's a process that where engineering is now directly connected to a human who has eyes and ears to be able to see what the robotaxi is doing. Is it centered in the lane? Is it doing this? Is it jittering? Is it that? Customers are not going to report that information. They're not going to report it in a quality way or a way that's going to be able to easily be absorbed by the engineering organization. Okay.
Yeah. So now,
You
where
know,
would you see this training person going? Because everybody's like anxious, get that person out of the seat so the stock
yeah.
go up.
Well, I mean,
So would you anticipate? Would you be what somebody posted this morning? They think that the safety riders will still be in the seat a year from now.
no.
Other people are
Yeah.
projecting that. I said the other day, maybe they aren't even going to have safety riders at all in Chicago, for instance, because they will have done their job in Austin. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
predicting that. I was saying
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be the full range of possibilities, I suppose. What do you think? I know you don't know, but what do you think?
Right. Right. I mean, yeah, just to hypothecate a bit about them, what could be reality is one option is that you see them pulled off in part or whole out of a city like Austin where they've, you know, done ground truth
Mhm.
and they've gotten to the finish line of, in other words, their issues have become less and less there, and the dimensional differences in, say, Austin versus Boston versus Chicago, you know, they understand Austin.
Mhm.
Remember, what we want to say here, and it's important to say, is that FSD is a general driving system. It is not something where it must be trained specifically for behavior in Austin and therefore it doesn't function in Boston. That's not true.
Mhm.
But there are differences. And right now, Austin and the Bay Area, in San Francisco Bay Area, is used as a sort of a test ground,
Mhm.
right? So I expect that they could pull all or part of them from Austin, and then they may take a strategy that every city they go into, they start this way.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's completely rational. In fact, if I was an engineering manager who was concerned about this, I would ask for that. That would be my plan. Um, it's also possible that they do sort of a partial, right? So they say, well, they've gotten rid of them, say in Austin and the Bay Area, and they go, well, Chicago. Remember, they're kind of pre-running these cities with these validation
Sure.
systems that we've talked about in previous podcasts, and those systems they're not mapping the city. That's not what's going on. They're just sort of running through the entire roadway segments to see how FSD performs. And they obviously they're collecting data, but they can't deal with every situation. Like coming across one intersection at one time of day is going to be very different. If configuration-wise, it'd be the same, but in terms of number of pedestrians or cars or bicycles or whatever. But I think to answer your question more directly, I think the safety observers will probably continue for some period of time, and then all of a sudden we'll see them just disappear out of the system. I don't know what that all of a sudden is. It could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, it could be 5 months. I think it's somewhat immaterial, right? From a business model point of view, sure, they cost money, but it's immaterial when you get to scale. And at this point, if you're looking at just from an engineering focus, they are incredibly valuable as a set of eyes that, you've got the cars are recording the data, but the cars don't have this kind of, overarching AI that's observing the system itself and giving kind of quality feedback. And frankly, the customer's not there to do that. That's not the customer's job. And often the customer can't push the information in a way that is receivable by the engineering organization.
I think